Notice of regular meeting of the City of Friendswood Planning and Zoning Commission to be held Thursday, February 15th, 2018, beginning at 7 p.m. in the council chambers at City Hall located at 910 South Friendswood Drive, Friendswood, Texas. Call the meeting to order. Communications from the public and committee liaisons. To comply with provisions of the Open Meetings Act, the commission may not deliberate on subjects discussed under the agenda item. However, the commission may direct such subjects to be placed on a later regular commission agenda for discussion and/or possible action. Do we have anyone from the public who would like to address the commission? Seeing none, we'll move on to consent agenda. These items are considered routine and ministerial in nature and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of items unless a commissioner or citizen so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. We have 3 items on the consent agenda: minutes from the February 1st meeting, minutes from the February 5th meeting, and the Arbor Gate West Ranch Pond Reserve final plat. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor? See unanimously. Moving on to action items. According to the Planning and Zoning Rules of Procedure, all action of the commission shall be made affirmative vote of four or more members of the commission present at such commission meetings. First action item is consideration and possible action regarding the major thoroughfare plan. May I have a motion?
Motion to
Second?
All right, we have a motion and a second. Let's move forward. Before we get commissioners' comments, Aubrey, you want to kind of update, rehash everything?
Yes, sir. At the last council meeting, we had a joint work session with City Council, and I think that went well. There wasn't any major opposition to removing the Blackhawk boulevards off of the thoroughfare plan. City Council, some City Council members did express a desire for a possible citywide traffic study, which can be addressed later in a different time. So we wanted to go ahead and move forward with this. Additionally, CEDC discussed this at their meeting on February 7th and gave a unanimous recommendation for the major thoroughfare plan changes as well. So I think we're all on the same page. I did email, made some text changes that are in the comp plan that go with the major thoroughfare plan. I emailed those out this week. So there's not anything, it was mainly just a lot of grammar cleanup and kind of consolidating and taking out some extra information. So that was emailed. And then I apologize, I did not get to email out y'all a latest and greatest major thoroughfare plan map. I just got it today. Basically, it's the same map we've been seeing. I made 3 minor changes. West Boulevard was labeled previously as a major thoroughfare. It was blue. We changed that to green because it is just a boulevard street. Friendswood Trails didn't have a color designation on it, which is a boulevard street, so we added green to that. And the only other thing, when I was doing the text wording that goes with the map, it referenced the current 2004 map has League City, Pearland, all the way up to 45, shows all the major thoroughfare roads and how we connect to other communities. And there was language that talked about those connections. And so we added a background map behind the map so it shows our connections to all the surrounding communities. That's on the current map. We just made it match. So with that, I think that's where we're at.
Thank you, Aubrey. Great help on putting this together for us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Commissioner Gunther, did you make the motion to approve?
Yes.
Have any comments?
I support the plan. And again, you did a real nice job, Aubrey, so thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Sassen?
Aubrey, I just had one question from, at our previous meeting, you had sent out several dozen notices to potentially affected property owners, and we had a limited response, but we did have some. Have we gotten anything since the last meeting? Anybody come in tardy saying either pro or con?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
So I appreciate you putting out all the effort on that. I think that was good, and the fact that there's no opposition to it and it's not doing, as you had said, Brett, I thought you put it very articulately the other day, that this is in the way of progress, not helping progress. And so I also intend to vote for this.
Commissioner Montrega?
Yeah, I just had two minor questions on the write-up, the red line on the major thoroughfare plan, and I'm sure there are really good reasons. I was curious as to what they were. I saw where we deleted some landscaping requirements in medians and so forth. And I thought I'm sure there was a very good reason that it was probably covered in other areas, but is that correct?
Yeah, so that section was,
Yeah, I don't remember the section number. I think it was in the thoroughfare standards.
yeah, it was a section talking about that some of our designs would be determined by other agencies. And it said basically the boulevard width should be sufficient to accommodate landscape planning for the purpose of aesthetics, sound attenuation, and problems associated with pollutants. Our boulevards, the criteria for that is in our design criteria manual. So we just put references in there to the subdivision ordinance and the design criteria manual for our current regulations.
And a similar, thank you. And a similar was we deleted references to the industrial and commercial streets.
Yes, because I'm not sure why that was in there, like where, I didn't see any other reference to those types of streets,
Right.
so.
I assumed it was cleanup. Okay.
Yeah.
I just was curious when I was reading. Thank you. That was all my questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Clark?
No comments other than I thought it was a good example of working together across the community and getting to an end point.
Very well. I really don't have any additional comments that I made at the workshop. This road, to put on the map, was a good idea back in 2004, but market has changed right now, so it's more of an impediment to development instead of helping development, as Commissioner Sasson has said. And as the road is drawn on the map, it cannot physically be built in that location due to the gas well locations. So I think it's very wise to remove this from the map. I'm in support of it. Any other comments? All right, we have a motion to approve. All in favor? Pass unanimously. Item 5, consideration possible action regarding the future planning and zoning commission meeting dates. Arbery.
Yes, sir. So our regular meetings for March are March 1st and March 15th. And I'm sorry, I'm going to meeting you to death again. We actually have a pretty significant site plan to be considered on March 1st. The 4-story building at the old pawn shop property between Sunnyview and Skyview is ready for consideration. So we are going to keep our March 1st meeting. We also have a March 5th meeting with City Council. We have a joint public hearing to consider a specific use permit request. So we're going to have 3 meetings in March. I apologize. It's going to be busy again.
Aubrey, I don't know how we're doing on quorums and such, but I will not be able to attend the March 1st. I'll be out of town.
Okay. Okay.
Me as well. I will not be there.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Looks like we will not be having a March 1st meeting.
Yeah, maybe not.
We'll check with the other commissioners and see what their status. Well, Rhonda will be back.
Yeah.
Commissioner Neal.
Yeah, hopefully we'll know something about Walter, but I guess, so who will be here on the 5th? So we may just have to bump them to the 5th.
Okay.
Okay.
That means we'd be doing upstairs?
Yes.
Do you
yeah,
expect a large turnout for this?
I'm not sure. I really don't. I don't think a lot of people.
I know there's been a lot of chatter.
Yeah.
Okay.
You never know. But I mean, we have the TV upstairs. We can put it on the screen. We'll figure it out.
Very well. Thank you, Aubrey. Okay, moving to item 6, communications from the commissioners. Commissioner Clark, you have anything?
No, I don't. I did want to report that I attended a ZBOA earlier this month, so there is activity going on in that area.
Commissioner Sasson?
Yeah, like Commissioner Clark, I attended the school board meetings. I once again was impressed with how hard those people do work and how long their meetings are, but nothing relevant for us at this point.
Commissioner Montrega?
Nothing.
Moving on to planning and subcommittee update, we're wrapping up the major thoroughfare plan, so the next item will be the future land use map. So we'll be tackling that on our to-do list. Ordinance subcommittee.
Our group met with Becky this evening a little bit. Becky's she's been doing a great job rearranging and putting getting the codes and ordinances together for the rewrite. We're on our way. It's going to be a major undertaking. It's going to take a while, but I think at the end of it we're going to have a much cleaner document, and it's going forward. So basically, she's doing a lot of work, and we're just going to step up, take the credit near the end.
Very good, thank you. Moving on to communications, council liaison. Councilman Hill, you have any words?
Yeah, we had I don't know if y'all have heard of the Clear Creek Steering Committee. It's a committee composed of basically the sponsors up and down Clear Creek. It's Harris County Flood Control, City of Pearland, Galveston County Consolidated Drainage, City of Friendswood, City of Leak City, Fort Bend Drainage District, DD3 over out of Alvin. But anyway, we had the Texas Land Commissioner was there, a representative from the Corps of Engineers, Larry Taylor. It was a significant meeting, but I was disappointed in it, and nothing got accomplished. But that little steering committee, and for Friendswood to join, it cost the city about $2,500 a year. And the fees are based on how big an area you got in the watershed. But that little committee, I've been going over there 12 years. It has paid Dannenbaum Engineering several $100,000 to remap the watershed, the new maps. And we desperately need FEMA to adopt those new maps. That's the reason so many of our people didn't have flood insurance. They weren't required to because the old map does not show their property in the floodplain. So if anybody knows John Cornyn, Ted Cruz, Randy Weber, we really need those guys in Washington to get FEMA to step up and get these new maps, because our city is still hurting. Our infrastructure in the city suffered a tremendous blow, and I think we'll get reimbursed from FEMA, but it's tough and time consuming. So anyway, like I say, we need to fight to get those new maps adopted, and thank y'all for what you do.
Thank you, Councilman Hill. Moving on to staff. Aubrey, Becky, you have anything?
The State of the City address is going to be on Thursday, March 8th. If any of the commissioners are interested in attending that, if you'll let me know, just shoot me an email. It's 11 o'clock. It's at Green Event Center. Okay, thank you. I couldn't remember if they moved it this year or not. So it's at the Green Event Center. Basically, the mayor gives the State of the City address. A lot of the city departments have tables for citizens or anybody who attends to ask questions and things like that. And it's lunch. So if you'll let me know if you're interested in attending.
Becky, anything? All right, seeing no further comments, meeting is adjourned.